There may be a point in your self-improvement journey where you started out, you hated your life was in shambles. You found self-improvement content and you decided to change your life forever. You decided, I want more out of life. I was meant for more than this, and you had a complete 180 spin on your life. Your entire family was in shock. Everyone that ever knew you was just completely transformed by how much work you put in. 2, 3, 4, 5 months of just constant grinding. And you look back at those days with so much pride. But as you continue self-improvement, you continue to look back at the previous days, and you think back and you're like, wait, the last 3 months, last 6 months, the last 9 months, I feel like I'm making less progress than I did when I originally started. It's like I'm still trying to, level myself up, but I'm just making less and less progress. I'm getting into more ruts, I'm sleeping in more. Why am I doing this? Why don't I have that drive that I used to have? Waking up at like 5 a.m. before school to hit a workout. I started to realize that success comes down to one word: satisfaction. If you right now are satisfied with where you're currently at, you won't make any progress. Why would you need to? I mean, you're on self-improvement, you already grinded quite a bit, and you got a pretty nice physique, and you don't really make too much money online now, but your parents give you some allowance, and you just, you're some weird part of you, even if you might not admit this out loud, is actually perfectly satisfied with where you're currently at. And so you have to start realizing that success comes down to how dissatisfied you are with your current situation. This is the reason why millionaires are millionaires. It's because when they were at $100K per month, $100,000 per month, they were still dissatisfied. They still wanted more. And so you have to keep the same energy. Because although these motivational podcasts they're kind of cringe, and oh yeah, they tell you to get angry and all this, there is a sliver of truth to them. I really do agree with this, be okay with being angry, but with looking around at your current situation, being like, I was meant for more than this. I don't want my life to stay this way. How do you become more dissatisfied with life? How do you become more dissatisfied with where you're at in life? How do we implement this? You have to be okay with letting yourself get pissed off a bit. Look, take a peek at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, is this what I was meant for? Was I destined for more than this? Because yes, I was. I'm destined for more than this. I wasn't meant to live this life. If you can only bench one plate right now, you should get angry at that. You should be mad. Why didn't my previous self put in the work to do this? If you have acne on your face right now like I do, you should get angry. You should be like, why? My diet's all messed up. I can't even afford a good diet so that I don't have acne. I can't even afford the right treatments. If you want to go on some trip somewhere and you can't afford that, you should get angry. I can't even afford to live my life and have cool experiences and share stories. Get mad at that. Be okay with letting yourself get pissed off a bit. It's a healthy level because it transforms your life. You get more dissatisfied with where you're currently at, because if you have acne right now, if you only bench press one plate, get dissatisfied, really, because the successful guys are where they at because they were so dissatisfied. This is exactly why I ask you, if a successful guy, like a millionaire, was put into your current situation. Let's say you're making $100 a month online, whatever. You have a decent physique, blah, 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 blah. if he was put into your position, do you really think that he would stay there for very long? Guy making like $1 million a month, do you really think he would stay there for long? No. And it's not because, oh, well, he had more business experience. It's because he was dissatisfied. He wouldn't be okay with only making $100 per month because he knows that he was meant more for more than that. You have to be okay with letting yourself get pissed off a bit. And there's this whole argument of like, oh, well, isn't this bad for your mental health? And I don't really think so. Like, for some people, maybe, alright? So if you're one of those people, yeah, just click off the video, whatever. You're probably not one of those people. I've implemented this, and the last 5 days, I've been waking up early, consistent every single day, disciplined in the gym. I've been hitting all my goals. And it's like a flip switch to me. I'm like, why did I settle for less? I know I was meant for more than this. Why was I settling? And you have to flip that switch in your brain. And the second you do that, you start making some insane progress. Is it bad for your mental health? Honestly, I don't think so. I think it's actually, in a weird way, it's kind of healthy. Because when I'm dissatisfied, when you were super dissatisfied and you started self-improvement, you were grinding, it was really hard, you were going to the gym every single day, same time, you were changing your life forever. How do you look back at those days? Do you I hated that time? Or do you kind of have a weird sense of gratitude for those days where you just loved yourself? The world was just beautiful around you because you were just destroying your goals. If you're not like this, like I said, click off. If you don't enjoy pursuing your goals or something, just leave. But you're probably not like that. If you've watched this far into a video like this, you need to realize that you'll actually, in a weird way, be more happy if you are dissatisfied with your current situation, but you're pursuing your goals more, and you're just destroying your goals. It's you just get this insane sense of accomplishment. It's if I went to the gym today and I uploaded a video onto YouTube, it's I go to bed with a smile on my face. That's the check in the box. That's all I need. And when I'm not doing that, it's even if I prioritize my mental health and I'm satisfied with where I'm grateful for where I'm currently am, and it's I'm not actually, I lose that zest for life. I realize that oh yeah, prioritizing mental health, I'm gonna meditate for 2 hours today. It's I lose that zest for life, and it's I don't even enjoy my life more. I actually like it less. And my whole family, I can see it across their face. They can tell that I'm not pursuing my goals with this striving, constantly just going as hard as I can, sprinting in this race. They can tell that, and I've really started to notice that. And when you start to allow yourself to be more dissatisfied, all of that changes. But this is what I'm saying, young men, you and I, we need to have more pressure in our lives. And some people, they'll tell us that oh yeah, this is bad for young men, too much pressure on these young people. But we know that this is actually a healthy, in a weird way. If you were to spend $100 on some educational program, in a weird way, you would actually benefit more, even if you couldn't afford it. So here's my example. I've been trying out carnivore diet, which is essentially, it's you only eat meat, but there's some, I've just been trying it out. It's a productivity thing that I've heard of, and I'm trying it out. But my excuse for so long was, oh, I won't be able to afford it long term, and so I probably shouldn't do it. But I was thinking, good. I can't afford it, good. That's a good thing, because guess what? I'm going to work a lot harder when I see my bank balance go below $100 or $500. I'm going to work a lot harder, because it's that hurts, and I'm not gonna be able to sleep at night if I have $0 in my bank. I won't be able to sleep. I'm gonna be waking up at 3 a.m. to record videos and selling programs. I'm going to be doing all sorts of stuff because I won't. There's that bar of satisfaction that we all have, right? And so when you were working on self improvement, it's like you raise that bar just above the point to where now you're satisfied. But if you're right here, it's like, and you're satisfied with where you are, you stop making progress. And so you just kind of maintain at that current level. But what we need to do is we need to raise that bar of satisfaction. You need to start saying, I'm meant for more than this. Like, why couldn't I afford that trip that I really wanted with my friends? Why can't I just literally just buy them a day pass in my gym and we go hit a workout? Like, I literally couldn't afford that. Like, that's crazy. Why can't I, like, get angry? Like, just, that's okay. It's a powerful tool you can use. And so we need to up the pressure. And like I'm saying, like, some practical ways you can do this by upping pressure is just by like using investments into yourself, right? So if your bar for satisfaction, with money is, let's say it's you need at least $1,000 in your bank account. If that goes down to, like, let's say your bar for satisfaction is like where if it hits below this, you wake up at like 4 a.m. thinking like, fuck, how am I going to pay my bills? Like, I know rent's coming due. How am I going to pay for gas this month? Like, I don't, like, you wake up and you're like, I need to do this. If I got super skinny and I was like 120, right? I would wake up at 3 a.m. to go hit the gym because I'd be like, what in the world? I need to change. Like, I'd be like bulking it like midnight. Like, I'd be doing everything. And so you gotta think, where's that bar of satisfaction for you? Because this is why you stop trying. You need to raise that bar. Because you only raise to that level of where you're satisfied. Once you're satisfied, it's like you stop striving for more. So how do we do this? You gotta increase the pressure. You have to increase the pressure. So if that bar for you is at $400 in your bank account and you get to 300 and it hurts and you're waking up at like 2 a.m. thinking like, I gotta make some money, that only happens when you lower that bar enough. And so in a weird way, I say it's perfectly fine to increase pressure by spending money. What I've started to do is I've started to cultivate a mindset of like, you know what, I'm perfectly fine if I want to spend like $100 on this paid program that will help me grow my business, or if I spend $40 on a video editor. I'm okay with that, because even though right now I won't be able to afford it long term, if my bank account gets too low, I'm going to start to feel it. I'm going to start working really hard, and in a weird way, by lowering my bank account, I'll actually make more progress later. It's this strange way, and not only will you get the benefits of like, oh yeah, investing in your knowledge, and you'll have better knowledge to bring to your business or to your career, but you'll have that pressure back. It's like now you have to perform. I could tell you this story. So my family, when I was like in 7th grade, literally 7th grade, I mean, I was small, like maybe I was like 5'2", I was just like super skinny, little kid. And my father and I, we were struggling to pay the bills. We barely, like, they had to borrow money out of my account, out of my savings account for like a Christmas, so that they could buy us presents. And we essentially, what happened is we were struggling to pay the bills, and my dad and I, we were waking up at like midnight a few times a week, 4 or 5 times a week, just so that we could go out and charge those Lime scooters. So we would wake up at midnight. We'd go to bed at like 10. You wake up at midnight. You go out, drive downtown into like where all the drunk dudes are, alcohol, homeless poo-poo, like terrible, like it's terrible environment. We throw the scooters into our van. We drive it back to the house. Charge them. We go back to bed at 3 a.m. So we're up for 3 hours. Then we wake up again at 6 a.m. Unplug all the scooters, and we drive them and we set them outside before 7. that time is like, there was so much pressure. How long do you think my family stayed in that situation? Of like, we could barely pay the bills. Not very long. It's because my dad, my mom, we all had this level of satisfaction that wasn't being met. And so we got out of that within like a couple years, because we were just, you work so hard you can't stay at that level because you're not satisfied. So how do you put that pressure on you? How do you put that pressure on you? Invest into your education. Do like smart investments. So don't be stupid. Don't like spend $500 on a new like watch so it lowers your. That's not. Do the highest ROI investments, right? That still drain your bank account and still build the pressure. So a bad investment for like being a YouTuber would be buying a new camera, right? Because it's gonna cost you like $1,000 and you'll get like a few more pixels on your screen, and maybe some kid will subscribe because he thinks the camera quality is nice. That would not be ideal. So you have to look and be like, okay, what's the constraint on my business? Okay, it's the way I'm speaking. Okay, I'm gonna go buy speaking coaching. Okay, I can't really sit down and do work, so I'm gonna buy Malachi's 1-week coaching bootcamp. Link in the description. I'm going to buy a video editor because my videos aren't getting very many views, and I feel like a few more edits, some more B-roll in there, some better cuts, more concise, that would get a lot more traction. So I'm going to invest in that. Or you start thinking like, what's the constraint on my life? How can I invest into that? Oh, I'm going to buy the expensive luxury gym membership in my town. It's $150 a month, but if I go there, I'm going to be around successful people, hot girls, and it's like, I'll be in that environment where I can, if I just make like one cool successful friend and I get his number and we link up sometime, like that just paid for itself. And I'll be, it's like, you just invest in the highest ROI things. I think experiences, stories, and your own knowledge is probably the best place to start. So thank you for watching. I start up the pressure. Start looking in the mirror and saying, I'm not okay with this life. I was meant for more than this. I wasn't meant to be this. Like, look at myself. Like, I wasn't meant for this. You have to start saying that to yourself. Like why couldn't I afford that trip out there? Why couldn't I, why did I not wake up at a decent time the other day? Like, why do I have like this much money in my bank account? Like, start saying this to yourself. If you want something and you can't get it, be angry. Like, be okay with like being pissed off until you do. That anger is what will drive you to getting it. Hope this helped you. Like I said before, go and click that first link in the description right now to join my 1-week coaching bootcamp and get you to 1K per month. I appreciate it. Subscribe right now to join me on this journey to the top, and I will see you later.